The Weekly, hosted by the editors of Pro Builder and Pro Remodeler, starts now.
We're going to talk about a management accounting concept that can be used in the design stage of building a house or any building. It's an analysis called Total Cost of Building Ownership, or TCBO. TCBO can be applied to new construction or remodeling projects for the purpose of estimating the operating and maintenance costs over the useful life of a whole building, typically about 60 years. Doing so can help a builder show buyers that a high-performance building has 30 to 40% lower total cost of building ownership compared with a minimum code-compliant building, which would lead to lower operating cash demands for the owner and higher resale values down the road. With me is Jim Nostedt, president of Seefar Building Analytics in Winnipeg, Manitoba. His service helps builders and architects by providing whole building life cycle costing based on all the major operating and maintenance expenses like utilities, carbon tax, property tax, mortgage interest, and age-related maintenance and renewal projects. Jim, welcome to the Weekly.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Very good, very good. Well, why should a home builder care about total cost of building ownership? What's in it for them?
I think if the homeowner really cares about the total cost of building ownership, they will build homes that minimize the total cost of building ownership, and the homeowner will have a higher performing building with lower energy costs and really lower operating and owning costs. But this is good for the homeowner and the environment, but it's also good for the builder because the builder's costs to build the building are slightly higher, so his profit should be higher. So it's a win-win situation.
So, say I'm a homeowner, and I'm gonna buy new construction in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, but I'm only gonna stay there 7 years because I want to move to Miami Beach later on. Why would I pay more upfront for my Jackson Hole, Wyoming home if I'm gonna, leave it after a short time? What's in it for me as a buyer?
Okay, so do you think there are other people who also want high-performing home? I think so. I think people want more comfortable homes with good air quality and low owning and operating costs. But the more important question is, how do you get the value out of that high-performance home when you sell it? We know that a home buyer will pay more for a home that is more durable and costs less to operate. But every home that is applying for a commercial mortgage must be appraised. But most appraisals are based on comparative analysis. Mm-hmm. So how do we differentiate the high performance home from a similar looking one next door? Well, appraisers have a green appraisal guide in the US, but it does not monetize those green building features. We have an appraisal report to help appraisers monetize the high performance features so that the real added value is identified and the selling price is then higher and the value is passed on to the next owner.
So what's an example of a high performance feature that is monetized through your analysis, TCBO, that might be overlooked with a typical appraisal?
Well, I think air tightness is a good example. There's no way for the appraiser to know what the air tightness level in the house is unless he has a test report. But more importantly, even if he has a test report and it says the air tightness is 1.8 air changes at 50 pascals, what does that tell him about the cost to heat and cool the home? The energy model for the home will show the energy consumption and cost. We use that as an input into the Seefar valuation program, and then the added value shows up in a lower total cost of building ownership.
So that could be a difference between several $1,000s in terms of the house appraising out for when it is time to sell.
It could mean quite a bit because really the total cost of building ownership over the life of the home can be quite large.
A good example of total cost of building ownership analysis is looking at the roof. Jim breaks down the lifetime cost of paying more upfront for a metal roof versus a cheaper asphalt shingle roof.
Initially, and this is a residential analysis, there's $6,000 for asphalt shingles, $13,000 for a metal roof. But what happens?
And this is U.S. or Canadian?
Canadian dollars.
Got it. Okay.
But it translates fine.
Sure. Yes.
And so, but by the time you replace the roof the first time, it's not $6,000 anymore. It's $7,950 because you've inflated it by a couple of percent every year. In this case, the life of the asphalt shingles is 17 years. That's what was used in this example. And then by the time you get to the next time, it's 12,500. But notice you've crossed the line at the back here at the first replacement. You can see this.
Yeah, so that's about what you would say, like between after 15 years?
But this is 17 years in this
17
case.
years?
So in this case, the assumption was the asphalt shingles would last 17 years.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of guys out there selling asphalt shingles right now. You say, oh, they're lifetime warranty.
Yes.
Read the fine print.
Yeah, labor's not included in that. And
all kinds of other things. So
it's like the caulking lifetime warranty. I laugh at that one too.
Yes. But in this case, you spend an extra $7,000 up front. But if you look at over the 60-year life, you spend an additional $40,000.
That's just the roof. Imagine if you applied this analysis to the whole home by including components like durable building material for the exterior, advanced framing, insulation, LED lighting, energy efficient appliances, and on and on and on. This case study of a home in Manitoba, Canada that was built with passive house features compared with a minimum code compliant home estimated that the upfront cost of construction was 4 to 10% more than the code compliant home, but the total cost of ownership savings were estimated to be $16,000 over 12 years, $84,000 over 25 years, and as much as $375,000 over 60 years, or the typical life of the home. So maybe you can go down your list. How do builders and owners win with when a high performance building is constructed?
Well, I think that in the high performance building games, there really are no losers. Everybody wins. And let's just look at the whole gamut. The owner wins because his total cost of building ownership is lower and the building is more resilient to climate change. The design team wins because their fees are higher and the work is more rewarding to create this higher performing building. And the builder wins because the capital cost is higher and therefore their profit should be higher, as I mentioned earlier. But even the bank wins because they loan more money, and with a lower operating and maintenance costs, there's less chance of owner defaults. And certainly if the home is, or the building is being rented, then the renter wins because their rent costs are lower and the building is more comfortable with better indoor air quality. So there really are no losers in this game.
No, it certainly sounds like it. Well, Jim, thank you very much. And thank you for giving us some compelling information on the weekly.